Hey guys, and welcome to our first episode. Today we're going to be cooking the spaghetti alla marinara. So what I went ahead and did, just for the sake of noise and everything, is I pureed two large cans of San Marzano tomatoes, as well as a half a cup of portobello mushrooms, baby portobello mushrooms. And what I did is I grounded it up, pureed it right here. And what we're going to do is we got to cook our meat first. So kind of got ahead of myself a little bit there. So what we're gonna do is get this flame going, get a little bit of EVOO in the pan right here, get that going right there. You don't need a lot, just a little bit to glaze it. The fat from the pork is actually gonna, when it renders down, it's gonna let off its own fat. So I have 1 cup of pork and 1 cup of ground beef. Want to get the pork going first. So let's get this in there like that. Get that. All right, so we're getting that brown. This is the getting our pork brown. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to add our ground beef. You know, the ratios with this, you can kind of really do it any way you want. Me, I kind of like to do the half and half proportion, just because, you know, just even flavors. For me, you know, some people like more pork, some people like more ground beef, and if you don't like pork, it's fine. You don't have to use pork. You know, I just that's just the way I like to do it. So we're gonna continue to let this get crispy. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw in our garlic and our onion. So let's come over here. Let's give our onion a good chop. Now you could do this you know, as finely as you like. I kind of like them, you know, somewhat. I like to taste my vegetables and my onions, and, you know, I like to taste the garlic and all that good stuff. What I did is we're using actually yellow onion. Some people say, why don't you use white onion? Well, white onion is very powerful, and yellow onion is much better when it comes to cooking in spaghetti. So let's get our garlic, a couple rough chops. Some people like to cut theirs paper thin and let it dissolve in the oil, which you can do. Any way you like to do it is fine. Preferably myself, like I said, I like to taste my vegetables and all the good stuff. So, all right, so this is almost good to go. And the reason why we put the pork in first is because pork actually takes longer to cook. And you don't want to burn it, you know, because keep in mind, this still is going to cook for an additional probably 45 minutes after everything is added into it, because we're going to slowly cook the sauce, and you want to get all those great flavors in there. So let's go ahead and we're going to add our garlic to this. All right, let's get our garlic and our onion added. So like I said, we got our half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of yellow onion and our garlic. Now you could do this either way. You could do it before this is brown. You could do it afterwards. I kind of like doing it towards the end because, like I said, it's all gonna you want the flavors. You want to really be able to taste these flavors, and it's best to let it brown the ground beef and ground the pork first. Once that's done, go ahead and throw your ingredients in there. And now what we're going to do is we're ready to add our puree. 2 large cans of San Marzano tomatoes and a half a cup of baby bello mushrooms, or portobello. In this case, I use portobello. Pureed in a food processor. We're going to go ahead and we're going to dump that in there like so. All right, get this mixed up here real nice and good. All right, while that's going real quick, we're going to go ahead and I also have half a cup of Italian parsley and a half a cup of basil. Very, very key ingredients. Also, a little bit of pepper to taste, a little bit of salt to taste, a little bit of peperoncino or red pepper flakes to taste. And another key ingredient, sugar. This sugar is going to take down, obviously, as you know, tomatoes have a lot of, they're very acidic. So, acidic. So the sugar is going to balance that out and bring down the acidity of the tomatoes. So we're going to get ourselves a nice balance. So let's get all this mixed up. And you're going to want this to simmer for, like I said, about 45 minutes, even longer. You can go. I've seen people simmer their sauce for 3 hours. This is one of those quick meals. You know, you've had a long day at work. You want to get home. You got minimal ingredients in the kitchen. You want to throw something together. This is going to be that meal that allows you to get it done. You know, 45 minutes to an hour. The key thing is the prep work. But other than that, yeah, so we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes, and we're going to come back and you guys are going to see the finished product. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes now. So now we're going to do the key ingredient now is going to be a little bit of cooking wine, some red wine. You can use any kind of wine is fine. You don't got to buy the expensive stuff. This stuff actually comes here locally from Ron Nunn Farms. He makes his own wine as well. So shout out to Ron Nunn. Thank you. So we're going to do about a half a cup. All right, and then next we're going to do a little bit of cheese. A lot of times you can add it at the very end. I like to add it a little bit before it's done because it's going to give that little pungent bite to it. So you can do about, quarter cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. You can use Pecorino Romano, pretty much whatever is to your liking. Preferably myself, I like Parmesan. So we're gonna turn this down a little bit. It's kind of getting a little too hot here. Let that simmer for about another 10 more minutes, and we're gonna come back and check on it. All right, so now we're going to put our pasta in 1 pound of, preferably myself, if you don't have time to do fresh pasta, Disecco is really good, or you can also, Barilla is another good one. Thin spaghetti, thick spaghetti, I'm not a huge fan of. I love angel hair pasta or capellini, but unfortunately, since this dish is really, it's temperature, very hot temperature-wise. So unfortunately, you don't want your noodles to get too soggy to where, they turn to mush. So, and with this, you just want to drop it in, give it a quick few twirls, and you're good to go. Obviously, you always want to salt your pasta water. It's key. And just leave it alone, and we'll come back and check on this in a couple minutes. Like I said, you don't want to overstir it because you don't want, Italians, they love their pasta long, and you don't want to break any pasta here. So just be very gentle, and we'll come back and check on this in a couple minutes. All right, so now these noodles are about 80% of the way done. So now what I'm going to do is, you don't strain them. What you're going to do is we're going to turn this off. Turn that guy off real quick, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add our noodles directly into the sauce. So that way we want them to finish cooking off inside the sauce. One, it's going to give it a flavor, and two, that starchy goodness is going to adhere to the pasta. It's going to stick to the pasta. You need that starch on there. It's very important. So we're going to just give this a quick go like this. Oh, sorry, you guys getting overboard like that. Get all this pasta in there. So the key to a good pasta is you want to make sure that these sauces is going to go ahead and just finish cooking off in this beautiful sauce here that we got. So you don't want to do too much moving around. You just kind of want to get all this incorporated in there. And remember, if you ever, and always save your pasta water. It's key because you want to make sure that just in case you need a little more sauce or a little more water, and the sauce get gets too thick, you're able to add some of that pasta water onto there, and it's a lifesaver. So keep this going right here. So now what we're gonna do is the final touches. Let's go ahead and we're going to add a little bit more Parmesan cheese because you can't get enough of this stuff over here. We're gonna do that. Give this a quick mix, like so. Give that a quick mix, and now we are ready to plate. So let's see here. Let me grab a plate. Get this guy turned off because we don't want it to continue cooking because then it will get kind of soggy. So let's give it just like so, right in the middle of the plate. You know, you can do a little twirl like that, make it nice and pretty. All right, you can add a little more sauce. I think this is enough for myself. And what I'm gonna do is I love cheese, so I'm gonna add a little bit more cheese right on top, like so. And let's give it a bite and let's see how she tastes. Let's see here. Delicious. This can go for, I can eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The next day, it's even more amazing. So, that being said, yeah, this is, you know, cook this in less than 45 minutes. If you want to give the sauce a little bit more cooking. You know, the longer you cook it, the more the flavors come out. So I hope you guys enjoy From My Kitchen to Yours. If you guys like the episode, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Instagram, go ahead and like our page. Facebook, like our page. We're going to try to get out a video every week. Every week we're going to show you guys a new recipe. Next week we're going to be doing something with broccolini, so stay tuned.